Minutes to 11. We're going to be chatting now with Mark Perriman, who is the well-known convener of the London England Fan Supporters Group. He's going to be bringing a large group of fans to South Africa for the 2010 FIFA World Cup. And these England fans have been to every World Cup since 1982, and they've left a legacy of goodwill behind each time in their interactions with other nations. I'll take your calls on 0891 104 207, 0891 104 207, SMSs to 34701. How are we going to make the England football fans, happy when they are here? How are we going to get them excited? But also, I want to hear from you what you made of yesterday's match between Bafana and Thailand at the Mbombela Stadium, 4-0. Who would have thought? I told you guys. I told you they're going to surprise us, and they are starting to surprise us. So I want to hear that from you as well. I want to hear your comments. 0891 104 207. SMSs to 34701. Mark Perriman, convener of the London England Fans Supporters Group. Good morning.
Good morning, Johannesburg.
Good morning. It's such a pity you are not here.
Yeah, look, when it comes to the 12th of June, have no fear. Planes, trains, automobiles, strikes, volcanic ash, nothing is going to stop us being in our tens of thousands in Rustenburg, having a huge party as the World Cup begins for England.
I can only imagine. And what's the excitement like at the moment? Because we are going mad. The excitement like over there at the moment? Because we are going absolutely mad.
This is my 4th World Cup. I've been to France, Japan, Germany. They're all great experiences, don't get me wrong. But I'm telling you this, and I'm not saying it just because I'm speaking to you as a South African, I have never known the level of excitement. It's a country that most of us only know through the TV. Yeah. It's a country that we grew up with in terms of a very painful history under apartheid. It's a country whose landscapes we know is the most beautiful landscapes in the world. And we're going to see the animals, which we're only used to seeing behind cages. But most importantly of all, we know in South Africa, in the townships, football is a number one sport. So we're looking forward to coming to a country where football is so popular.
How have you planned the trip in terms of just where, obviously you're going to be in Rustenburg for the first match, but just in terms of how you're going to move around the country?
Well, last November, we met a man who is a fantastic ambassador for your country, Siva Pillay. He runs a tourism enterprise partnership, and he came and met us in London. He'd never met a group of England fans before. He came to our pub, and he explained that his mission was to take the fans out to the towns and villages who otherwise won't be part of a World Cup. And we said, that's the World Cup we want. We don't want to be locked into some kind of sponsor-driven fans park where all you can do is eat McDonald's, drink Budweiser, and watch Lady Gaga on the screen. We want to get out and taste your beer, eat your food, listen to your music, be part of the party. So with Siva, we've organised this fantastic coach with the Tourism Enterprise Partnership, and 70 or 80 of us will be going to every single part of South Africa that we can reach. And when people say, but what about the days between the games? We say, look, we're coming for 630 minutes of football. That's going to take us to the final on the 12th of July, with or without extra time and penalties, hopefully without. But it's those days in between. That's what we're really excited about.
We'll take your calls 0891 104 207, 0891 104 207, SMSs to 34701 in conversation with the convener of the London England Fan Supporters Group, Mark Perriman. He's going to be coming here bringing a group of fans to South Africa. And as you heard from him, he doesn't want that normal experience, that sponsored experience. They want the real South African experience. So we'll take your calls 0891 104 207, SMSs to 34701. And Mark was reading some of the stuff around, the tourism enterprise program with Siva Pillay, and also that in terms of where you're going to be staying, places, some hidden treasures, places that, aren't normal, aren't like the ordinary places, but places that you probably wouldn't have found easily on your own.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the thing that fans have in common is that we love travelling.
Yeah.
All our away games take place in other countries, sometimes on other continents, and we're coming to be part of history. On the 11th of June, history is going to be made. The first World Cup on the continent of Africa. In the last decade or so, we've learned a lot about Africa through football.
Yeah.
Every Premiership club has got somebody from Ghana, Ivory Coast, Nigeria, South Africa, Cameroon, Senegal. We've begun to learn a little bit about Africa and its love of football. But what we've never seen, what we've never been a part of, is your fan culture.
Yeah.
And I can absolutely assure you, there's not an England fan who wants a Vuvuzelas band. We all want to hear those Vuvuzelas. We want to hear the racket. We want to be part of a party alongside you.
Do you know how to blow one?
I was given one by the South African Embassy, and my little 18-month-old baby, Edgar, who's coming to his first World Cup as well with me, and my partner, Anne, he keeps trying to blow it, but he can't get the sound. Now, I can just about get a sound, but what I don't understand is how you manage to get a tune out of these. Your fans must have lungs the size of elephants to be able to get a tune out of that for 90 minutes. I'm absolutely shattered after blowing into it for 90 seconds, let alone 90 minutes.
I'm the same as you, but they just know how to do it, and they make music out of them. Absolutely. But, Mark, your media has not been very kind to us. You know, how do you explain those kind of reports to the fans?
Look, what we've been doing since last December, every single month, we meet in a pub, and we always invite along a South African to hear their side of the story. We are very well used not to believing a word that we read in our newspapers. So when our newspapers say we're going to be carjacked on every street corner, none of the stadiums are complete, there's going to be a race war led by those Nazis in the AWB, we don't believe a word. But I tell you, you got your opportunity to get your own back. 2012, I promised to write an article for you about what a dump London is. That nobody should come here, but everybody's going to be pickpocketed, that the stadium hasn't been completed. You get your own back in 2012. Look, as a fan, we don't believe a word of it, because we know that South Africa is the #1 place for a Football World Cup in 2010. And we don't care if it's not the same as Germany, because if every World Cup was the same, none of us would bother going. So if there's a little bit of hassle, if there's a little bit of a delay, we know your culture is quite laid back, we'll go with the flow. Because if every World Cup was the same, we wouldn't bother going.
We'll take your calls, 0891 104 207, SMSs to 34701.